Hi there, it is Sherry from Sherry's Painting. Welcome to my channel if you've never been here before, and if you have, welcome back. I love gemstones, and I picked myself up a beautiful spherical rose quartz. Rose quartz is a very gentle, loving stone, and with the sphere it just radiates at 360 degrees, folks. And it sits on this beautiful little wood stand that I have. So I'm going to paint this today, and I hope you paint along with me. I think it's going to be a fairly easy, simple painting for starters, and I just feel like it really does need a place in my journal. So here we go. I'm just going to put that back over here. So, and then I'll explain what you guys need for today. Okay. So what you guys, sorry, just gonna try and set this proper. Okay, so what we need for today, guys, is we need something round, okay, to draw the sphere. And I don't do the full page painting. I only do part of the page because I like writing little notes on the side for my journal entry. So I am using, I think it's just a little candle holder that I got at the dollar store. So if you have anything around home that's round about this size, a lid, anything like that, that'll work. So that's the first thing we need. We need water. We need 2 jars of water, one that is dirty and one that is clean, okay? Because when we dip our brush and clean it, we need the dirty water to clean off the paint, and the clean water to dip in for new colors if we're using them. We're also going to be needing a Sharpie ultra fine point permanent marker. Okay, these are lovely. I use these all the time. I am using 2 brushes. I'll call them a small and medium brush. They're both round brushes, and these work fantastic. With watercolor, you really don't need to spend a whole lot on supplies. So these are amazing little brushes that I use. You're gonna need a pencil. You're gonna need some paper towel to put your brushes, to dry your brushes with. You are gonna need an XL, Canson XL watercolor or mixed media book, okay? And you can always fix up the front of it too and put your own design on it. I've started another journal now too, and I put my own design on it, and it worked out really lovely. So we need an XL mixed media Canson 5.5 by 8.5 or whatever size you like. I think they come 7 by 9, 7 by 10. And I did purchase mine at Michael's, and I got a pretty good deal on it. So Amazon was a little pricey, but Michael's had these for a really good price. Also, we are using Arteza watercolor pencils, okay? And these ones are great because they come in all different colors. So if you look in here, there's 3 trays of watercolor pencils in all different colors, and I haven't even started using, oops, sorry about that, haven't even started using all the colors that are in here, but they are lovely, absolutely lovely. Okay, so that's what we're using. I have picked out the colors ahead of time that I'm going to use to make your life a little easier, and mine. But if you feel like you need to use any other colors, then don't hesitate to do that, okay? So the colors that I have picked for this project are Crimson Red, Peony Pink, Dark Chocolate Brown, Sienna Brown, Expresso Brown, Camel Brown, Fuchsia as well, Cinnamon Brown, Myconus blue, and elephant gray. So those are the colors we're going to use today. And I mean, you certainly don't have to use those colors. You can use whatever colors you like on yours, but it is rose quartz, so you want to have it more to the pink side. I think that's about it. I think that's all we're needing today for supplies. So let's get started. So I'm just going to turn this around a little bit to the side I like, which is right there. Okay, and so we're going to get started. So the first thing we want to do is, I'm just going to move those water jugs out of the way for a second, or water jars. And you're going to take your little round piece of whatever it is you have, and take your pencil, and we're just going to trace around this little sphere. Whoops. And you don't want to press really super hard yet, okay? So there's our little sphere that we've drawn, and it's nice and round, obviously. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw that, now that we've done that, we're going to draw the little wood piece that comes off of here. So I'm going to just go over here, and it comes up from underneath here, and it goes up and over like that, and then around here, and it's got a little edge there, and then it comes out here like that, comes down here like that and like that, and this piece is going to come in here, and then it's going to carry out the side there another piece. So we're going to do that first. And then this piece comes from underneath, and it goes up here like this. And there is a little piece that juts off. And this doesn't have to be perfect, you guys. I mean, you know, I'm using what I have right here in front of me, but you certainly, you know, don't have to be doing the same thing as I am. If you would like to set your rose quartz on something else, you're most certainly welcome to do that. This comes out there like that, and then back in here like this. There is a little gap, or a little piece that comes down like that. Okay, and I'm drawing this fairly dark too, so that you guys can get a good idea of what I'm doing here. That piece goes out there, comes around like that, and then there's a little edge on that. And then this piece comes about here. There's an edge there, a little foot up in like that. And then there's a little edge that comes around like that. So I think this piece I may have done not quite right, but I'm gonna move that down here a little bit. Just like that. There's that space in between there. And I think I may even extend this a little bit bigger here. There we go. I think that's good. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have it's sitting on a table. So we're just going to add that to there now. I'm going to put it about right there. Comes out there and about right there. Okay. So that's it. That is our drawing. Pretty simple so far. So what we're going to do then is we're going to actually go in and do the rose quartz first. This one is called Foreshadowing. So it, you know, we don't really see any angles in there, but we do see one that comes down like this and one that comes like that. Again, we're going to get rid of those other lines in there. And just for the sake of, hopefully you guys can see all that. And then the light is going to be coming from this direction. So it's going to be, there's going to be a spot of white right in here. There's going to be a spot of white here. And maybe even a little bit right in here too, okay? So this side of the rose quartz is going to be darker than that side, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take my fuchsia color. It's the darkest color pink that we have, and I'm just going to go over here. Now just remember guys, when you're doing these watercolors, sorry, I'm just going to erase that little extra line there because I don't really want that in there. Okay, so when you're doing these watercolors, you guys, you want to start with your brush on the dark rather than the light, okay? So I just don't like this either. Okay, hold on. I'm being fussy now. Okay, so I'm just going to move that out over here instead. There we go. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to start darker at the edge and lighter toward the middle. And with this, the smoky quartz has, or sorry, the oh my goodness, the rose quartz has little lines that go through it, okay? And there's something, they're kind of like this, these lines that are in mine anyway. I mean, yours might be different. If you have a piece of rose quartz around and you want to draw that, then you are most certainly welcome to do that. And I'm just going to color this in. I'm not pressing too hard, you guys. I'm pressing really, really light here. There's going to be a bit of gray in here as well. So I'm just going to lightly go around. I'm going to use this one too because it's light as well. And then I'm going to kind of mix that up with the grays too. It's going to be lighter on this side than the other because that's where our source of light's coming from. And there might even be some white patches over here. We're trying to make it look cloudy. That's what we're doing, okay? So I'm just going to leave a couple of little white patches under here. And here, this is going to be darker toward the bottom, and this is going to be pinker in here and down and through here, okay? And then I'm going to use a little bit of gray, the elephant gray as well, just really super light, because there's a bit of mix there too on the gray. You'll notice that the smoky quartz has a little bit of gray in it, and even a little bit of brown too, but I think we're just going to use the grays and the pinks on this particular ball of smoky quartz here. There we go. I love painting my gemstones, actually. They're fun to do, and you know, I mean, gemstones in your journal is all good to me. So okay, so there's our smoky, or sorry, keep wanting to say smoky quartz. There's our rose quartz, okay, and we're going to activate that in a second, but I want to do all of this too. So I'm going to start with the cinnamon color, and I'm going to make that lighter up here at the top of those little edges, just because that's where the light's shining. So we want those to be a little bit lighter. As it comes under here, it's going to be a bit darker. So I'm going to press a little harder right here. And I'm also going to press a little bit harder here. That comes right underneath that sphere, just to indicate the shadow. This is going to be a little darker in here as well. And then that's going to be light. This is going to be dark coming along in here. Like that. It's going to be fairly dark in there. And then we'll add our shadows underneath too, guys. This is going to be dark here. Like that. This is going to be dark in here, but lighter on the other one because it's sitting directly in the light. So like that. Same here. This one's all going to be almost all dark, actually. There we go. And this one's going to got a little corner there too. So we're going to try and darken that up a touch. And then this is going to be fairly light. This one might be a little darker in here because it's in the shadow. And then the rest is going to be fairly light. And we're going to be adding colors to this too, you guys. So don't worry if you feel like it's too light, because it will be changing. This is going to be darker in here, in that area. It's going to be darker on here and around in this area here and all the way down here too. There we go. And then there's a little gap there that pulls those two apart. This is going to be a bit lighter here. And then this one is going to be about medium, because it's kind of not really in the light. It might be a little lighter at the edge, but other than that, not so much. This here is going to be all light in here as well, because that's just a part of the wood. I'm not one for staying in the lines, guys, so don't worry about that. It's all good. And the table itself, I think what we're going to do that in is the Camel brown. So just go in the back here and just sporadically put that around. You're going to it's going to be quite a bit darker under there, because there's going to be a shadow cast there, which we'll also do. It's going to be darker in here, because this is all in shadow, like that. And then you're going to go out lighter from here. And then it's going to be a little darker around this area, again, from the shadow. And same back here, you're going to start light, and then in here will be a little bit darker. Over here, we're going to cast a shadow there too. So this one is really super simple, you guys, to do. And they're a lot of fun to do too. So, oh, I got some pencil stuff there. And we're going to darken up those shadows too in a little bit. But we're going to go and we're going to soak our stuff first. So I want to do a background here, okay? And we're going to use this blue color. So we're going to go and do that first. So you can dip your, I'm dipping in my dirty water, because I know I shouldn't, but my dirty water is kind of already blue anyway. So I want to get that, that color. And I'm just going to, the more water you use, the lighter the color, you guys, okay? So I'm just going to start up here. And I think I might need a little more color than that. There we go. That's better. So start up here. You don't want to saturate it all together, but you definitely want, you know, some color in there. And you might have some light spots, some dark spots. That's okay too. I just really like this color, and I like this blue on the rose quartz. And as you get toward the rose quartz, I like to go a little bit lighter. So as I put on a dark piece, there we go. Hey, no one said I was perfect with these things. I just started using these watercolor pencils in April. So my puppy passed away, and I've been trying to keep myself busy because he was my bud. So just, you know, and leave those little white spots too. Make it look cloudy back there, but I wanted a little lighter around that rose quartz. Just going to add a little water to that, spread it around, and go right in the cracks and crannies too, you guys. Again, in here, around the outside edge, I want it to be a bit darker. And you'll find you get all kinds of little shapes too, so that's kind of a neat thing. I'm just going to put that in the water, dip it here. There we go. Okay, I said I wasn't going to do a whole page, but it's kind of looking like I am doing a whole page. But that's okay. All right, so then we're going to go and dip it again over here, make it a little darker on this side. Though, I'm just going to dip in the water, spread that around a little bit, and carry it down here, just so it's not, you know, completely saturated in there. And again, I'm just going to dip it in here again, and then bring it down in here where our table is. Okay, so that's it for the background on this. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we are going to take our brush, and this time I'm going to dip it in the dirty water, clean it off on my paper towel, and then we are going to actually go and do that rose quartz. So dip it in that clean water. You do not want your brush completely saturated. We want to start with the lighter side of that rose quartz, and we want to go kind of in circles, because with the rose quartz it's kind of a cloudy sort of effect. So we want to kind of just go in circles with our brush for now, and we do want to leave some of those light spots in there too, and start on the lighter end of things and then work your way to the darker, because that way you're not going to, if you start with the dark, then it's kind of hard to shade and shadow it in. So try and start with the light and then work your way to the dark. So I'm just going to go around in here and just go around in there. There we go. And this is going to be such a pretty little painting, you guys. And then we're going to go over it again with the gray. I want you to cover up those little marks, or just go really lightly over them with your paintbrush, with hardly any water, with the excess water that's left on there. And then we're going to go over that with the gray a little bit too, but just to spread that out. If you decide you want a white spot, you can dip your brush in some water, dry it off, and then dip it in the water again, and you can actually end up lifting off some of that color if you want. Okay, there we go. There we go. Beautiful. So there's our little smoky quartz, our keep wanting to call it smoky quartz, but it's rose quartz. And then we're going to add a little bit more gray over there too, you guys. But for now, we're going to go on to the stem that it's sitting on, or the branch, or the whatever that thing is, the wood thing. And again, I'm going to do the light colors first. So, and then we're probably going to add a little more color to this as well, but I just thought these colors worked really nice together. So nice and light there. Again, and then I'll dip into a bit more water, and we're going to do that piece. There we go. And then this piece. And we're going to add shadows under there too, you guys, so not to worry. And another little dippy-do. There we go. And that's looking pretty good there. And then back in here too. There we go. And then up here in this area, just like that. Okay. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now you can clean your brush a little bit and then dip it in the water again, and we're gonna now go into the darker areas. So again, and we will be adding darker to this too, you guys, just to let you know. But I just wanted to show you what to do with those lighter areas first. So a little darker in there. It's dark back in here, right underneath here, all the way there. Be very careful when you go under there. Usually I'm not one to worry about staying in the lines, but in this particular one I am, because we don't want that brown sneaking into our rose quartz there. So okay, so that is looking fantastic. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and do our table. Okay, so again, you just want to start with the light, and it's kind of a wood table, but it's kind of a yellowy table, and I just wanted this to be super soft, you guys. So because that's what rose quartz is. It's so soft and gentle and kind and loving, and so that's how I kind of wanted this painting to be. Because it's just such a beautiful stone, and it speaks about love. So we want it to be nice and kind. I'm going to go in here. There we go. A little bit of color back in there. Okay, and then once we've done that, we want to go and do our darker. So again, dip your brush and just go in the back here. And again, we're going to add more shadow in here, but for now this is good. There we go. That's nice. And I'm going to blend that in together with that other one. There we go. And out here a little bit. And back in here too. And again, it's going to be a little darker in this area because it's in shadow. So we're going to go right in there, right there. I think we forgot to do that piece. So I'm just going to do that real quick right now. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go back to that rose quartz. It should be dry by now. Yep, it is. And what I'm going to do is take that gray, okay, a little bit of gray, and we're just going to add a few little, I guess, imperfections in the rose quartz. I'm going to go right underneath that line, and I'm just going to add in a few gray areas here and there, just because the rose quartz has that sort of grayish tone to it as well. It's got that pinky, lovely gray tone. And notice how I'm going in circles here, you guys, okay? Because I don't want it to be straight lines in here. I kind of want it to be more cloud-like. And there's some parts that I'm leaving open for white in there. I'm just going to go underneath here just to indicate those imperfections. I'm not looking at my crystal anymore, you guys, either, because I just feel like I just feel like I kind of know what I want here. So just going to add in some little spots in there too. And then I might even go back to that first pink that we had, just to add a little more pink in there too. Just like that. Darken that up just a touch. And these white spots in here, guys, I want you to totally leave those alone. I don't want you to cover those up. Under here, it's going to be a bit darker, okay, but I'm going to use more of a brownish color. In fact, I might use a bit of that cinnamon color because there's little marks in the rose quartz as well. If you look at it, there's little imperfections in it, so we want it as close as possible. And then we're going to go underneath here, and I'm going to add that cinnamon to the bottom of the rose quartz and just sort of bring it up in here a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that is looking fantastic. So I'm going to dip my brush in just a tiny, tiny little bit of water this time, you guys. Okay, and we're just sort of going to blend all that. I want to keep some of those white spots open on here, okay? But I want to also blend in these lines a little bit. There we go. It's very, very subtle. Very, very pretty. There we go. And in here, I just want to blend that a little bit more and make it go out a little bit. And we can still darken that up too if you guys want. I think I'm kind of liking mine the way it is, but you may want to darken it up a little bit more if it's yours. So there we go. That is good. In fact, I think I'm going to wait on that a little bit and use a little bit more of the brown because I feel like my lines are too pink. So now I'm going to go in with the Expresso brown in here, okay, because this should be dry enough. And I'm just going to add a little bit more shadow in here, make this a little bit darker. And we may or may not color that in. We'll have to see how it looks, but this is going to be fairly dark in here and in here and in here and definitely down in here. This is going to be a shadow cast here, like that. And then this is going to be fairly dark in this area, and it goes around like this. In this area there, not quite as dark, but definitely darker under here. And where our rose quartz is sitting, okay? So we want to make sure that we can set that rose quartz down. Now in here, if there's little sort of imperfections in here too, so we may want to put those in there. And it's kind of just all over the place. It's not really anywhere in specific. It's just the nature of the wood. So we're going to put that in there too. It doesn't matter where those lines are. And then in here too. And again, you guys, we're going to be going over this with with felt pens or with the Sharpie, so don't be too afraid, okay? So that looks pretty good to me. Probably a little darker over here on this side, and in here, a little bit darker here too. And then quite dark under here, because that's where the shadow is. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to, or I am going to go in here, and I'm just going to take that gray, and I'm gonna take my small round brush, and I'm gonna dip it in the water, and then I'm just gonna dip it on the gray here. And I'm gonna come out underneath here with that, underneath that pink. Just use the very tip of the brush. You may even want to roll the brush on it, just like that. Just the very tip, just to give it a little more depth there. There we go, and in here too, there we go. Just to make it a little cloudier, a little grayer. And add in some more gray there, and then some white in there. And I might even actually add a little bit more gray to the side there, because I feel like it's looking pretty pink. There we go. And a little bit in here too. Just to give it that nice cloudy little look. There we go. In there, and up in here, a little bit down here. Okay, so I'm leaving that alone now, and now I'm going to grab my other brush again, the longer one, or the bigger round, and I'm going to go in here, and we're going to do this again, and just add that extra color in there just to give that a little more definition. Again, guys, not worried about staying in the lines too much. There we go. Just going to add that. Pull that up just to give it that little little extra in there. This one is going to be a bit darker back here. There we go. And there's going to be a shadow under that one too, so we'll have to add that. And then back in here too. A little more water there. There we go. And in here, I'm going to extend that out a little bit out here. There we go. Okay, so that is looking pretty good. Now we're going to add some more shadow underneath these little feet. Okay, so just go in with that espresso brown or whatever color you feel like it might be. I'm just going to add a little extra shadow in here now, and right underneath the very foot of it. And then we're gonna spread that out. And I might even put a few extra little marks in here too, just to make it look like that wood effect, okay? And again in here, and in there, and again, this is gonna be fairly dark in here. And then we're gonna go in with the brush again here. It's gonna be all pretty dark in this area, because there's shadow here. Underneath there, just like that, and over there too. And again, we're gonna pull that right out, okay? And in there, okay. And then we're gonna take our brush again, and we're gonna start with the light. And you may wanna leave some of those lines because they look kind of neat. It makes it look like it has like this wood grain effect. I hope you guys are still seeing this okay. I keep moving it. And we're just going to go really light in here first. Just like that. And then I'm going to take that brush and go to the darker area now and just pull that out a little bit. Same here. And pull it right out. And same in here. This one might need to darken up a bit more actually. Yeah, I do. Okay, but that's pretty good. So that's looking pretty darn good. So now what we want to do is the next step is we're going to wait for this to dry. Okay, we want to wait and have it dry for a second before we start tracing it with the felt or with the Sharpie pen. So, so I'm just going to let it dry for a minute and then I'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, so now it's all dry. So I'm going to go in now with the Sharpie pen and we're going to outline everything. So I'm going to start in this area here. And I'm just going to, because we want to cover up those pencil lines. So I'm going to start in that area there, just like that. But we still want that white spot. Okay, so there's that. We're going to go and we're going to follow our line around. And I know this is scary, but we have to do this because it's a pen and ink, or sorry, an ink wash with watercolor. So try and follow your lines as best you can. There you go. And I'm actually going to turn my work. I have a really sore hand, so I'm just going to try and do this as best I can here. There we go. And I'm definitely not perfect, you guys. I don't ever say that I'm perfect at anything, but I just wanted to show you how to do this. Try and fix that up a little bit. And then right underneath there, you want that to be nice and dark in there, okay? So we might even come in with a little more shadow in that area. I want to try and fix that a little bit still. There we go. And then we're going to trace our wood structure like this and out this way like that. And it comes down in here, and same on this side, and it comes out here, and then there, and it comes up this way, just like that. And again, I sort of used my rose quartz as reference, but I sort of just kind of did it on my own too, which is kind of a good thing because you have the license to do whatever you need to do to make it work for you. So that is like that. We're going to go in here. We're going to do that part. There we go. I love these little wash drawings. Or the ink drawings. They're so fun to do. And I could lose myself for hours doing these because they're just so much fun. And in here, that's going to come out and go around in that way. And then this one, and this one is kind of foreshadowed because it's in the front. So in here, this way, down in there, and then there's definitely a piece that comes up here and comes down here and across there, just like that. So that looks pretty fantastic, you guys. So we're going to add a little bit more shadow still underneath there, and I'm going to use that brown. It's dry enough now, and I don't even think I'm going to go and paint this part. I just want it to be nice and dark in here, just so we know it casts a shadow. And then we're going to do the table there as well. And here too, I want that to be a little darker, just because it's going to cast that shadow. It's going to be quite dark around the edge there. Here as well, we want to get to that guy. And again, he's going to be dark in that area. It's going to be fairly dark in there. But fade off. Okay, I'm pressing fairly hard, but then I'm fading off as I go underneath. I'm going to add a little more color in here as well. Again, I don't think I'm going to go in with the brush after that. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm just going to make some little lines here. Again, just because I want it to make it look like it's a wooden table. And then we are going to do the table itself. In here, I'm just going to make this a little darker. Down in here with that same color, the Expresso brown. And then, in fact, I might make that really super dark. There's going to be a shadow here. I'm going to come in here with that brown again and shadow that piece up as well as that piece. Just like that. Okay. and this piece, because it's going to be pretty dark as well. And that looks really good. And then I think what I'm going to do is add a few little lines with the Sharpie, a few little spots in here at the foots. There we go, the foots of the structure. And just like that, it almost looks like a cat. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put rose quartz. Actually, I'm going to write it down here. So rose quartz. Loving and gentle. And then you know me, you guys, I love doing my little hearts. So I'm going to put my 3 little hearts underneath here. There we go. I'm going to take my red pen and I'm going to dip it in the water. And we're going to color those in those little hearts. Because that's what rose quartz is. It's all about loving hearts. Dip it in there. There we go. We got our rose quartz in there. Don't forget to sign it, you guys. So sign it wherever you like. I think I'm just going to sign mine right here. Really important to do that too. And there you have it, you guys. There is your rose quartz. I hope you seriously really like this. And if you did like this video, please do like and subscribe. And we will see you on the next video. If you have any comments, let me know. Please send me your work if you like, because I'd love to see it. Okay? All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.